Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the IMG Chronicles with Dr. Shayee. It's been a while, I know, but thank you for your patience. Thank you for hanging in there. To all of our new viewers, new subscribers, I say thank you. And if this is your very first time joining me, I can guarantee you it will be completely worth your while. Just like the title says, the IMG stands for International Medical Graduate, and this is chronicling my journey, lessons I have learned along the line, and hoping it will, teach somebody else one or two things while they are also embarking on their journey towards practicing medicine in Canada. Your favorite Canadian IMG. So once again, welcome to IMG Chronicles with Dr. Shayee. So today we're just gonna jump right in. If you have watched the last episode, I did say there that the next thing I wanted to focus on was on what we call the practice ready assessment pathways. These are assessments for practicing physicians from other countries who are coming into Canada. So it's not for fresh graduates, it's not for somebody who hasn't done postgraduate training. These are specifically for people who have done postgraduate training in general practice or family medicine, as you may call it. So today, this is for you. Like you probably know, or I expect that you know, since your plan is to come live in this country, or you may be living here already, we have several provinces. So in other countries, that is known as states. And here we have provinces, and most of those provinces do offer what we call this practice ready assessment for already trained physicians who can come in and work. But like everything else is convoluted, is not straightforward. And I just thought, to share some of this information with you, and you go on to do your homework and read more about what I have shared. So that way the information you're reading makes more sense to you, and which is why I'm spending time to talk about it. So today we are going to be talking about the province of Saskatchewan. It's a mouthful, I know. Saskatchewan does this amazing program called the SIPA program, spelled SIPPA, and that stands for Saskatchewan International Physicians Practice Assessment. So just like the name implies, right, it's for physicians who are ready to practice in their province. And what are the requirements? First, there is something we call an eligibility checklist. So are you even qualified to apply for this pathway, right? So you may be in another country outside of Canada right now. This is also for you. You may be in Canada and you haven't applied, this is also for you, right? So you have that pre-screening checklist or eligibility criteria, as the case may be, whatever you call it. And the very first thing is your medical school listed on the directory. We've got the International Medical Education Directory. So you have to go check if your school is listed there. So if your school is listed there, check you've passed the first phase. I must warn you, this list is a long list. I may not mention everything on the list, but I'm certainly talking about some basic things, right? So first, are you a qualified physician? So we've talked about that. Secondly, do you have the postgraduate requirements to embark on this pathway? So what do they want? They want you to have done a minimum of 12 months of postgraduate training, each rotation at least 8 weeks. So yeah, some people are thinking, well, in my country, I do the house job of 1 year. In some countries, it's 2 years, even better. So you need to have done that. Or you need to have done postgraduate training in family medicine for at least 2 years. So giving you a minute to digest the first two things I've said. Now, moving on to the third one. You need to be a currently practicing physician. Your eligibility must include currency of practice. What does that mean? It means that you must have worked as a family physician independently for a minimum of the last 3 years. So that is a requirement. So for example, you've met all of these requirements and you came to Canada. Let's say you arrived in Canada in 2017. That's 4 years ago. Can you still apply? No, you cannot. You cannot because it's been more than 3 years, right? So you need to have that continuous 3-year window in which you have been practicing medicine. And so for people who have been here for longer, how do they do it? They go back home, or they go back to a country where they have a practicing license, where they can practice independently for at least 3 months, 6 months even better, practice continuously for a length of time, and then come back to Canada, then apply, so that is something a lot of colleagues have done successfully well, go out of country to update their currency of practice, and then they come back. So, recap, I've said a couple of things. Your medical school has to be on that directory. Secondly, you need to have done postgraduate training of at least 12 months, each rotation, at least 8 weeks, right? You need to be current in practice. So those are some of the criteria I've mentioned. Now, for exams, your Canadian exam, the very first one, which I talked about in my last video, the MCCQE1, you need to have had a pass in that. After that, then the next level is your clinical exam, or the OSCE exam. So there are two things, right? The very first one is if your exam was before 2020, I think June, then you need to have either a pass mark of at least 75 in the Knack OSCE, or you need to have passed the QE2, or you need to have a superior performance score if your exam was after June 2020. Are you getting it? I know it is a lot, which is why I am taking the pains to break it down. And if you've got questions, if anything is confusing with all of this, just drop down your questions. I will be watching for your questions. I'm happy to, answer them. There is no foolish question on this channel. If you have thought about it, I'm telling you, somebody else will probably need the answer to that same question. So feel free to ask me your questions, drop it below, and I'm happy to answer. So yeah, we've talked about the exams. So with all of this, remember, this is still your pre-screening phase. Someone is going to go through this whole checklist and determine that, oh yes, this person is eligible to apply, right? If you are deemed eligible to apply, after they've gone through all of your screening process, it takes time. I know for some people it takes minimum of at least 6 months to a year. You know, it just depends on where you are, or if some of your documents need to be sent back to you for re-verification, you know. So let's just say you have crossed all of these hurdles, right? And you have now been invited to apply to the CPA program. The next phase will be invitation for an exam called the TDM. So that's the link down below, the Therapeutic Decision Making Exam. That's what the TDM stands for. You know, and this is a test that is checking out your pharmaceutical knowledge, you know, your pharmacology, your knowledge of drugs. That's what this test is about, you know. So you are tested. I think it's a 3-hour long exam, and you either get a pass or a fail. If you do pass the exam, then it means you have fulfilled all the requirements for applying to the CPA program, and you is a waiting game at this point, right? There's going to be communication between yourself and the college back and forth, you know, through all of this process. If you failed the therapeutic decision exam, you have a chance to do it again. You can do it again. The exam is valid for just 2 years. So if you pass, if you don't use it within 2 years, then you have to take it again. If you failed, you can retake the exam, but you can only do it once after a 6-month period. So let's assume you took the exam in January. You cannot do it before July. You have to wait 6 months. You know, so I know this is quite convoluted, but this is just to whet your appetite, and you need to go and visit the website and read more about this program. So all of this is eligibility and acceptance. So let's assume you crossed all of these hurdles, you get invited for the therapeutic decision exam, you pass that exam. So what next? You get invited for their assessment. And what is the assessment? It's in 2 parts, right? So you come in, you are housed, you're given a stipend, and during that time you undergo an assessment where somebody or a group is assessing you for X period of time, and at the end of that 3 months or so assessment period, you are deemed either you passed it or you failed it. So they usually would advise you not to come with your family at this point, because you do not have an offer letter yet, right? This is just an assessment period. And after successful completion of this part, then you become a licensed physician in the province of Saskatchewan. But there's a catch. You can only work in that province. You're given a provincial license, meaning your license is for that province, and there's a return of service. It means you have to work in that community you're sent to for a period of 3 years. So you have to serve that community. And after 3 years, you know, of fulfilling that obligation, then you can, you know, remain there or go to whatever part of Canada you wish to go to. You know, so overall, I hope this information has helped somebody. This information is just to stimulate you into doing more research yourself. If you've got questions, feel free to ask me. So that is it for the CPA program, Saskatchewan province. If you want more information, let me know. I'm going to be talking about the provinces one after the other. And the next time I'm talking PRA, meaning Practice Ready Assessment, we will be discussing the province of Manitoba. Yeah, Manitoba. So stay tuned for the province of Manitoba. So that is that for Practice Ready Assessment. The second discussion topic for today is the Knack exam. The Knack exam will be starting countrywide this weekend. So that is the OSCE exam that only the international medical graduates, the IMGs, people like me, people like you, we're the only ones who do that exam. The Canadian grads do not do it. And it is a clinical OSCE exam. It's a high-stake exam. You need to score really well to get an interview for residency. So I know a lot of people who are probably watching this right now are very apprehensive, anxious, just thinking about the exams. I have been there. I know exactly how you feel. And these are not mere words. It's easier said than done, I know. But I think the best thing you can do for yourself at this time is have very good sleep, be well rested this coming days to the exam. You've worked hard, you've prepared so hard, you've had your discussion partners, you've simulated so many cases, you've probably done mock exams, so you've worked hard. And because the exam is so broad, you need to cerebrate really fast. You need to be able to think on your feet. So when you're told take a focused history, right? You're thinking to yourself, what information is important here? What do I need here? What, your brain is full. So take this week to just not detox, but take this week to assimilate everything you've learned, everything you've prepared. Just relax this coming week, especially the night before your exam. Make sure you have a very, very good night's rest. You want to exude confidence, right? You want the patient to see you and trust that, oh, I can trust this doctor to do the right thing. I can trust this doctor to take care of me, You want the examiner to feel like, oh, I don't mind having this person as my physician, and sometimes you really do not know the answer, and it's okay. Even at my level, sometimes I tell the patient, oh, I'll look it up, or we actually look it up together, right? So as much as possible, exude that self-confidence. Breathe it, act it, live it while you're in that exam room. You don't get a second chance, right? And I wish you all the very best in your exams. I look forward to the testimonials of the results. For this past couple of months over the summer, I was an instructor for the Knack exam. I was preparing candidates, and I wish them the very best of luck. And for those I did not tutor, I wish you the very best. I look forward to celebrating with you all. So share your results. Let's celebrate together and work on the next steps together. To those who live in Alberta, we are currently experiencing the fourth wave of the pandemic at this point. Our ICUs are above capacity. Is really sad because it is avoidable. It is avoidable in the sense that over 90% of the people in the ICU right now are people who did not take their vaccine. So I implore you all to please take your vaccines, get immunized. Now this is not about the vaccine passport or mandate. This is just about you staying healthy for yourself, for your loved ones. If you have any concerns regarding the vaccine, I know this is not related to IMG Chronicles, but feel free to ask me. You can ask me privately. You can ask me publicly. My email is just down there. Send me an email, info@drshayee.com. Send me an email and I'll be happy to respond to you. I look forward to seeing you all on the next episode of IMG Chronicles. I think a Q&A is long overdue. What do you guys think? Let us meet live and direct. Let's get an opportunity to meet one another. I really want to see the faces behind the names of my subscribers. I want us to have a live Q&A session, and I'm thinking of doing that next month. What do you guys think? Send me your ideas, send me your comments about that. Maybe sometime between the 2nd and the 3rd week of October, we could plan for a weekend, spend an hour together. And if you've got questions, if there are things you're wondering about that you want to ask me, I will be very happy, to spend that time with you all, or with as many people as can make it. I'll look out for your comments, see what you guys think of that idea. And if it does go on to happen, watch out for the space of the adverts. Maybe we'll do it via Zoom, maybe Microsoft. We'll see, but that's something I'm really thinking about and looking forward to doing. Today is being information overload, I know, but once again, thank you for being a subscriber. Thank you for taking your time to watch this. As always, I look forward to more and more and more practicing physicians in this country called Canada. So have a wonderful week, every one of you all. Have a blessed week. Stay safe. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of IMG Chronicles. It's been such a pleasure seeing your faces again this evening, even if I can't see you, but it's been such a pleasure. Kindly subscribe. Don't just watch it and walk away. Many need this information from all over the world who are interested in coming to Canada to work as doctors. So kindly share, like, subscribe, follow us on all of our social handles.